right. A lot of people talking Michael Vick today. Folks, he's been released from prison. He's back out, and pretty soon the NFL will be deciding what his fate is. We want to get the perspective of someone who works in animal issues at PETA. Is Bruce Friedrich. He's joined us here in studio. He's a vice president for policy. He's a spokesperson, been there for 13 years. Now, Bruce, I just want to get your initial reaction because people are talking about Michael Vick's future. The NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has said he wants to hear some remorse. What do people at PETA think about this? What are they observing for, and what would they like to hear from Michael Vick before this guy resumes his career making millions of dollars?
Well, I think people need to, we hear the phrase dogfighting, and people need to understand just how gory this activity is, and the fact that Vick actually took it even over the top. I mean, dogfighting at its most basic is two animals put in a ring who rip one another to shreds. Michael Vick would take the losing dogs and hang them and laugh as they struggled. He would electrocute them, he would drown them. He would take his family pets, who weren't fighting animals, toss them into the ring with seasoned fighting animals and laugh as those animals were ripped limb from limb. So we think Michael might have some serious psychological problems. We think that he may be incapable of remorse and that he really needs to undergo some psychiatric evaluations to see whether he's capable of remorse and, of course, whether he is actually remorseful. What do you think?
What do you make of the Humane Society coming out and saying they have reached out to him, or that Mike Vick's people have reached out to them? He's interested in doing some work for them in terms of public service announcements or getting young people, particularly in urban areas, to know about the dogfighting, the moral issues of it, and try to prevent it. Would that be something that would show that level of remorse, or do you see that as kind of a cover, a PR type thing?
Well, his lawyers approached us, and Michael Vick came to our building on multiple occasions. I personally sat down with him for a little over an hour, and he lied to us. We were open to working with him in exactly that sort of a role, but he told us things that were not true. He told us that he saw his fighting dogs as different from his pets. In January, we learned from the USDA investigations that he actually took his pets and tossed them into the ring with the fighting dogs. So we really need to understand more about Michael Vick's psychology. Obviously, it's in his best interest to rehabilitate himself, but certainly right now, this is not somebody who should be a role model to children, and really not somebody who should be rewarded with a multi-million-dollar annual contract.
Yeah, I've kind of, that's the side of it I kind of come out. I mean, I'm a dog lover. I have a 13-year-old German Shepherd. I have a cat I love. I don't even like to hunt like my family does. Although I respect the fact other people may want to. What I don't get was the cruelty to an animal, torture an animal that lost to you in a fight. I don't understand the psychological basis of that. So, here's the other aspect I want to wonder, though. Those dogs, a lot of them, have been able to be rehabilitated. Has that changed the way PETA, Humane Society, looks at the way fighting dogs are treated after they're taken out of those situations, or is it special circumstances because of the training that they're getting?
Well, this is extraordinary circumstances, the sort of rehabilitation that had to be done to these animals. I mean, all of these animals have severe post-traumatic stress disorder, and this fighting ring has been going on for 7 or 8 years, so it's probably hundreds of animals who have suffered at Michael Vick's hands. In other animals, they feel pain in exactly the same way that we do. They're made of flesh and blood and bone, just like we are. Dogs, of course, are man's best friend. Michael Vick tormented these animals in ways that are beyond our worst imaginings. And this isn't somebody who's a role model. This isn't somebody who should be rewarded and welcomed back into the NFL. He should undergo extreme and serious psychological testing as a first step to determine whether he's even capable of remorse.
Well, I agree with you on one thing for sure, Bruce. I hope it's a cautionary tale for any young kids out there that think about getting into this kind of activity. It's cruel. It might ruin your life. That shouldn't be the motivation, but it ruined Michael Vick's life. It cost him a lot of money, cost him his freedom. We'll see how the NFL handles it. Bruce, I really appreciate it. Bruce Friedrich from PETA, folks. I'm sure you can go check out stuff at PETA.com. Is it your website, PETA.com?
PETA.org, and thank you very much for having us on and for focusing some attention on this issue.
PETA.org. Yeah, you could probably go read more about this, and we'll be talking about this a lot more. Bruce, thanks a lot, man. Enjoy your work.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Now, folks, we got next the Roundtable.
It's time for the Washington Post Live Roundtable,